Welcome back to the podcast. It's your boy B News, live from Korea. Let's talk about it. I got a question for y'all. I got a question. Be honest now, don't lie. How many of y'all use dating apps like Tinder, Bumble? There's like a bunch of other ones. How many of y'all use those? I don't know. For me, I feel like going out is the best way to meet someone because those dating apps, they never seem to work. So I'm gonna give you a story about using Tinder and Bumble. All right, so I met this one girl in there. We matched. Everything was cool. We talked for about a week before we actually met. We text. We did video calls every night. You know, the good night, the good morning. Everything's cool. I'm like, all right, that's what's up. So she kind of hinted. She's like, we've been talking for a while, but you never like invited me or said like, let's go on a date or anything. So I was like, oh, my bad. Yeah, I am tripping. So I was like, what do you like to eat? I can cook something for you. I can get some wine and you can come over. You know, you feel comfortable since we've been talking for a while, or a while. And she was like, okay, that's cool. Boom. I'm like, all right. So I gotta, I love to cook, so that's easy. Went to the On Base. Someone's messaging me. I went On Base, got some red wine, got some new shiny glasses, got some steak. I think I cooked some broccoli with some brown rice. I'm ready for the weekend. I get everything set. I had the mood set. I had the lights on dim. I had some of the 90s R&B music playing. So it's lovely. All right, so she comes to Songton. First red flag, she's late. And then she tries to blame me for being late. So I told her when she gets there, when she gets close, to text me so I can come there. She texted me as soon as she got there, like, where you at? Go there, pick her up. We come back to the house, everything's set, it's looking good. She walks in, she's like, oh wow, this looks really nice. First thing she does is she goes straight to the wine. So I'm like, okay, whatever. You don't see the food that I was in here, took like an hour to cook. I got it all nice and set up on the table. So she gets some wine. We finally sit down, we chat for a little bit. She's eating her steak, but she's back to the wine. So now we talking and she's already in like 3 glasses of wine and I'm still on my first one. So I'm like, all right, we're gonna see where this goes. All right. We finish eating. By this time, she's almost finished the bottle of wine. And she says to me, do you have any like more like hard liquor? So I'm like, okay. I was like, I don't, but we can go to the nearest CU and we can pick up, something else from there. Put on the stuff. We go down to the CU. She gets some beer. I'm not really big on beer, but whatever. So she gets some beer, some snacks, and some other stuff. And then we come back. So now we're watching some Netflix, talking, put my hand around her, trying to get in the mood. This goes on. We get like halfway through the movie, you want to watch a little bit of the movie, then try to make it move. But we get halfway through the Netflix, and she's just getting like, her voice is getting like louder and louder. It's kind of like unattractive, but we already here, so we're gonna go with it. Next thing she says, she's like, oh, I think we were talking about like relationships and we started to get like on sex or something. And she says, you know what? I'm like, what's up? And she's like, I thought you were like gay or something. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? She's like, I thought you were gay because you didn't even try to like have sex with me or anything yet. And I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I'm sitting here trying to be a gentleman, and this girl is like, you ain't try to have sex with me yet. And we've been here for like over 2 hours. So in my mind, I'm thinking at this point, I'm like, I didn't even have to cook, set the vibe, get any wine or nothing. I could have just basically brought her into the house and probably could have had sex with her just from the jump. So that was already like a red flag. I mean, after she said that, I mean, you know what happened, but still, that was the only time we met. Because after that, I was kind of turned off. I was like, if she's acting like that with me and we just met, she's probably doing this on the regular. So the text messages went down. I wasn't really calling, wasn't really talking to her. And then I guess she caught on like after a week or two, and she finally texted me and she said, I feel like you're not really interested in me, so I think it's best that we don't talk. And I was cool with it. I was like, okay, yeah, that works for me. But that was a bad experience. I don't understand. You try to be a gentleman and then you're wrong. But if I would have tried to, just be like thirsty, then what? It's like you can't win. That was one bad story. So that was the first one. I'm gonna share one more with y'all. I'm not gonna share too much. I don't want y'all to judge me. Don't be judging me, I'm just giving you some stories. So the second one, I met her on Tinder. We talked for a while, and then I'm one of the people, like, if I text you the first time and you like answering, we doing the good morning, all that, and you answer back in a good reasonable time, that's what I expect from there on. So we were texting, and sometimes she would answer, sometimes she wouldn't. So I lost interest and I just stopped talking to her. I went to Seoul to go see, I think it was like a Korean artist. He was performing in Itaewon. We went to this show. It was pretty good. The VIP, the service was terrible, but we still had fun. So it's at the end of the night. Nothing's popping off. I get a text. It's her. She's like, hey, where you at? I'm like, I'm in Seoul in Itaewon, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, can you come here? So I was like, come where? So I read it. The address is in Korean. It's to a hotel. So I was like, hey, I'm with it. So I go there. I meet her at the hotel. She just wearing like a towel. Boom, boom, boom. You know what happened. Fast forward later, like we started talking like serious. So now at this point, she's coming to my house every weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I would go to her area. I would pick her up, come all the way back on the bus. And then when she's ready to leave, I would get on the bus again, take her back home, and then come all the way back. Yeah, I was doing way too much. So I felt like things are getting, really, really good. Then I started to get these red flags. So we would talk every night around like 11 o'clock before we would both go to bed. It'd be like, good night, and then we would call every night. I would call around 11, 11:30, and her phone would always be busy. So I'm like, who are you talking to? Every night around 11:30, she's like, oh, it's just my friend. She's calling, and we just talk like this. So I didn't think nothing about it, but this keeps happening. Then she comes over to my house one of the weekends, and she was taking a shower. Her phone rang. I just turned it over, and it was a guy's name on the phone. So I'm one of those people that I can't hide. Like, if I'm feeling something, you're gonna see it on my face. I can't hide it. So she comes out the shower and she looks at me and she's like, what's wrong? And I was like, nothing. She's like, really? What's wrong? I was like, who's this? And she's like, oh, that's just a friend. He's new to Korea and he wants to know stuff about Korea, how to get around. So I didn't think nothing about it, whatever. So this keeps going on. I text one of my friends and I was asking her, I was explaining the situation, and she's like, trust me, from a girl's point of view, she has another guy. She has another guy, trust me. But we don't want to listen. We don't want to hear that kind of stuff. So I'm like, nah, that can't be true. So she comes back over. I look her dead in her eyes and I was like, just tell me the truth. If you got someone, just let me know, like right now. Don't lie. She looks me dead in my eyes and she says, no, I don't have anybody. Are you sure? And she got like offensive about it. So I left it alone. Cool, you don't got nobody. I think Thanksgiving came up. We spent Thanksgiving together. And then Christmas came. Around Christmas, I got her something. I got her mom something for Christmas. She was like crying because she was so happy that I got her mom something. We went to some, I think it was like a cruise party on New Year's. We had fun. We got on the subway to go there. Her phone rings again, and I just happen to glance over. It's the same dude. So this is messing up the whole New Year's vibe. We go there, we had fun, we drink, we're dancing, another red flag. The countdown goes on, and then all of a sudden she has to go to the bathroom. So she goes to the bathroom, she's in there for like 10, 15 minutes. And in my mind, I'm like, she's probably on the phone with this dude and I can't go in the bathroom. There's no way. So she comes out. I was like, damn, that was a long time. And she's like, oh yeah, it was a long line in the bathroom. We go back to the hotel. First she gets mad because we couldn't get a taxi because there were so many people at the cruise. Like it was hard for taxis. So we had to walk miles and miles while it was winter time. Got a taxi, got back to the hotel. We didn't say nothing to each other. We were pissed. Next day we ate lunch, and then I went back home. She went home. Conversation after that was kind of weird. So I texted her. I was like, I don't like this. I feel like you got somebody and I'm wasting my time. I don't want to do this. We're done. And then we hang up. The next day she calls me back and she's like, no, I want to try again. I really like you. Can we try again? So me being dumb, I did it again. We started talking again. I'm texting one of my close female friends. She's like, stop. She's like, she has a guy. Trust me. This time I'm still not hearing it. So the last and final straw, she's supposed to come to my house the next weekend like she always does. And she's like, I'm going to catch the bus at, I think the closest to her was Jamsil station. So you're Korean, you know exactly where the buses are. She's like, I'm going to catch it at Jamsil. So one of my exes lived there, so I knew exactly the bus schedule for Jamsil because I've been there so much. So the last one was like 9:30. 9:30 comes around, no text, no call. I call her, no answer. I'm like, wow. 10:30 comes around, she calls me and she's like, oh my gosh, I missed the bus. I couldn't find it. I'm pissed. Because I know she's lying. I'm like, how did you miss it? There's no way you missed it. It comes at 9:30. Everybody knows where the bus stations are. She's like, do you still want me to come? I can catch a taxi. I was like, no, nah, I'm good. You know what? Matter of fact, I don't even want to do this no more. We're done. Like this whole relationship is done. So we stopped talking. Now this is the funny part. I met one of my friends and we decided we haven't seen each other for a long time. So we just met to have a dinner in Jamsil. So Jamsil goes all the way up to the 6th floor where they have all the restaurants and stuff. We go to the 6th floor, minding our business. Guess who I see? It's her with a guy. After we just broke up. She sees me and she looks like she saw a ghost. I didn't say nothing. I didn't make a big scene. I just walked past. I looked at her like this and I kept walking. And I told my friend, I was like, guess what? She's like, what? I was like, the girl I just broke up with, I just saw her with a guy. And she's like, really? She's like, well, she's probably jealous. Do I look good? I'm like, yeah, you look good. Okay, this works. This is perfect. So we eating, we're talking about it. Fast forward, I go home later that night. She calls me and she's crying. Guess what she says? She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I wanted to tell you I had a boyfriend the whole time we were dating. So that means when she was coming to my house Friday, Saturday, Sunday, she had a boyfriend the whole time. I don't know how she made this work. Maybe she lied to the boyfriend and said she was with her family. I don't understand how she was at my house every weekend and never chilling with her boyfriend. And then sometimes she would say like, oh, I'm gonna meet my friends this weekend. When she would meet her friends on the weekend, she wouldn't answer her phone. She wouldn't answer their text until the next day. So that's probably when she was meeting the boyfriend. So she's crying on the phone and I'm like, all you had to do was like tell me the truth. Like I knew there was something there, but you kept lying to me. It made me feel like I was wrong, but all the signs were there. So we're about to hang up on the phone, and the last thing she says to me, she's like, can I ask you something? I'm like, what? And she's like, can we still be friends? Those are my two experiences with the dating app Tinder and Bumble. Terrible, terrible. I will not use those apps no more. Nothing good comes from them. I hope you enjoyed these stories. I'm out.